Well, hello again. Welcome to my reaction of the final episode of season 2 of Snowpiercer. I have put on a very flamboyant coat in honor of Mr. Wilford, and I'm also wearing some teal underneath in honor of hospitality. Actually, that's not at all the reason I'm wearing teal. The reason is that this was the only semi-decent t-shirt that I could find, and I needed to wear a t-shirt because I got the first dose of my vaccine, of my COVID vaccine today. Well, you can't really see it, but it's there. I removed the little band-aid, but it's there. I got my first COVID vaccine, which is great. So that's why I'm wearing teal. It's just a nice coincidence. But I did kind of try to do my hair up in braids to kind of look like Ruth and hospitality in general, and as you can see, it turned out a total mess. I'll be immediately fired from hospitality for not looking the part, but I tried. That's what counts, right? I tried. Okay, so no crisps today because I've just eaten, but I do have my huge bottle of Quince drink thing, so I'll probably be drinking that, and let's just get straight into it. I'll try to comment a little bit less because last time I was stopping literally every 5 seconds. But we're probably about to find out what happened to Melanie because we're starting with like a snowy slope. It's somewhere outside. This has got to be something to do with her. So it's Alex narrating the opening this time. I quite like the different characters getting an episode to narrate. I always really enjoy stories that have multiple protagonists, and you get to see people you get to see things from different people's perspectives. And I don't think, have we gotten one from Alex? I think maybe we've never gotten one from Alex. So it's nice to give her one. It kind of makes sense to give her the season finale because she's quite an important character, but she's also the youngest character, so it's kind of like looking into the future.
And no one ever came ashore. That's when Dubs got weird.
Okay, so she just said she was telling the story of how Wilford got her onto the train when she was 10, and then for years they didn't meet anybody else, and then they caught up to Snowpiercer, and then they met Melanie, and she says, and that's when Dubs got weird. Really? That's when he got weird? Because last episode you literally told people that he murdered half of the passengers slash crew on his train, so that wasn't weird to you? Only what he's been doing now is weird, but before it wasn't? I suppose you could sort of excuse that as, you know, he had to do it, it was a difficult decision, but I find it difficult to believe this is the first time he's done something weird, and for 7 years he's seemed completely sensible and not crazy at all.
Do you know what a nucleate is?
That's a nice line from her. So she's saying, at first I thought that my mom and her people were stupid and disorganized, but now I think maybe freedom has to be messy. And I think this is, yeah, this is true. Freedom usually isn't very tidy. Dictatorship is tidy, at least on the surface. But freedom, when you give everybody a voice, yeah, sometimes things get a little bit messy, and sometimes they have to get messy.
Tonight, we're gonna have any shot at getting back to Melanie.
Layton and Ruth still shoveling shit, but they seem in really good spirits. They seem to almost, well, probably not be enjoying themselves. But I think that the news that Melanie was alive really kind of helped them get their hope back and their kind of their spark back. So now they're kind of just high-fiving each other, they're conspiring again. I think they make a really interesting pair. I think Layton is a lot more interesting when you pair him in a scene with Ruth or with some of the other characters.
Qualities that got us this far won't get us past Wilford. To best a man like that. Everything.
Okay, so it seems like they have a really dangerous plan, and Layton said a murderous plan, because they're discussing how much they're willing to do and risk, and how much of how many terrible things they're willing to do in order to win against Wilford. And he's kind of hinting that they have a murderous plan, so they're probably either going to kill the guard, or I don't know what they're planning, but they have a plan to escape the swamp, as it's called. Basically the shitter. Big Alice's shitter. Okay, they did just murder the guard in kind of a gruesome way, but I don't think I can blame them. They really do need to get out of there. Even so, I always feel bad when kind of the minions get murdered, because you don't know this person's story. Maybe he's not that bad of a human being. Maybe it's just the situation he's in. But anyway, I think he's dead now, or very badly injured.
Bring it with you. Let's go find Javi.
Alex, we've just found out. Your mum, she's alive.
I knew it. I knew it. She's there. She's waiting for us.
Cool. So they just made it close to the engine where Alex is, and they've just told her that her mom is alive. So I think if they continue to spread the news now to more people, this is probably going to spark yet another revolution. There's too many revolutions, and I know there's kind of like the pun that they use. These are our revolutions. Yeah, so many revolutions. There's probably gonna be another one this episode.
We're gonna steal Big Alice.
Audrey, am I the only one working today? You're an early riser though, aren't you, Bess?
Wow, okay. So after last night's orgy party, whatever the heck that was, Wilford is up and Miss Audrey is still sleeping, probably dead drunk. And he's like, am I the only one working today? Come on, people. Well, dude, I mean, it's your own fault. You got everybody drunk and high and just having sex all night. Poor people probably haven't had enough sleep.
The night prowler. I like that.
Not your advisor if you won't listen to my advice.
Now, why did I do that?
Poor impulse control. Yeah.
Okay. This episode is already hilarious. So, Wilford is trying to get Zara on his side, and she's very openly resisting. So he's trying to come up with ways to convince her. He's like, what if we gave her voice of the train, the position voice of the train? And Till is there, and she's like, oh, you're not gonna buy her. Her husband slash boyfriend, whatever, is you know, is imprisoned by you. And Kevin was like, oh well, you know, she'd probably do it with convincing. I'd happily slap her. And Wilford just outright right hooked him. And he's like, so why do you think I did that, Till? She's like, poor impulse control? Which is exactly what it is. I mean, I know you love shitting on Kevin just in general, but like, you can't be murdering people 1 second and then be like, oh no, how dare you insult the lady, or how dare you suggest you slap her. You're probably gonna do something a lot worse to her, come on. I mean, I'm not defending Kevin here. Kevin is obviously being horrible, but like, I think I didn't find it that difficult to forgive him if he decides to turn around at any point, because Kevin has had it rough, you guys.
Because pregnancy comes with privilege on Snowpiercer.
Oh, it's because pregnancy comes with privilege on Snowpiercer. I mean, yeah, sure, that's a reason not to slap a woman, but there's also a lot of other reasons not to slap people, men, women, or anything in between. So basically, the reason you just punched somebody is because you could use that baby. The baby's gonna be useful to you, so how dare you touch my shit or suggest you're gonna touch my shit? Because people are things to you.
Zara is privileged. She has that ineffable royal Layton jelly. Kevin, we want some of that.
Real jelly, mine sticks, sir. Of course.
What's going sideways now, Joe?
Head of the dog orders, time to play doula.
Sarah.
I think that Miss Audrey is like full-on evil at this point. I don't think there's much doubt that she's on Wilford's side. I think if that was the case, we would have gotten a few more hints. Although this show has surprised me before, I didn't see Kevin being alive coming, but in this case, I think she's just supposed to be evil, which, to be honest, I think I kind of prefer that. Oh my goodness, okay, this is brilliant. So Alex told Layton and Ruth that there was a secret entrance from the engine to Wilford's bedroom, or from Wilford's bedroom to the engine, I guess. So they're using this this kind of entrance now, and in his bedroom he has like a glass case, not even a locked one, like an open glass case with like swords and daggers and rapiers and all sorts of weapons just sitting there for anybody to grab. So now they're gonna grab those and they're gonna go and kill the guards so that they can talk to Javi and they can kidnap Big Alice. She's not a person, but like they can steal Big Alice so they can go and get Melanie. But like, honestly, who leaves weapons just there? He must have had enemies even on his own train, or like he must be suspicious enough of Alex that she might grab a dagger and try to kill him. I don't know. This was awesome. Okay, so they just killed the guards and this is now officially a superhero movie and Ruth is just badass. I love her. I think her Scottish blood is maybe speaking to her. I live in Scotland, I should know, but she just went all Braveheart on those guys. It was amazing. And I mean, I know Braveheart is not Scotland. Mel Gibson was very offensive with that movie, but you know what I mean? She was just like, I gotta murder you now. That was just great. This is so much much fun. This show is insane.
Oh my god.
It's just hospitality. Killing a man.
Calm down, Javi. It's just hospitality, killing a man. I love it. I love it so much. I love that she can care about, you know, how tidy the table is and like the proper wine glasses and all of that, and being all tidy and composed and always, you know, cordial. And then she can go and kill a bunch of people. I love that. That's amazing.
You called us, yeah? Holy shit. It worked. You guys got the note?
Christ almighty.
Ooh, they just found the bathtub. I hope that they don't actually get into the bathtub. Now would not be the time, and this bathtub has terrible connotations. But I love how snarky Ruth has gotten about Wilford, because she was kind of so much leaning very strongly towards his side when he first showed up, and now she's just like, you bitch, you have like your own little palace here and you're using all of these resources and you're a horrible person. She's basically done a 180, and I love it.
After you, Ruth.
Oh no. Oh no, she's actually gonna get into the bathtub. I hope this doesn't end badly.
Okay. Now whack it. Okay.
Okay. So Josie's got a new robotic hand, because obviously she lost her in, you know, when she got those freeze burns. And she's talking about how she used to be very scared of the cold, but now with the modifications that they've done on her, she wants to go out there, she enjoys it. This is a little bit ominous. I wonder if they're actually trying to hint that she's going to go on Wilford's side just because she feels so good now with, you know, with her new skin, with her robotic arm that she's playing around with, and she just feels so grateful, or she is just so impressed by his science and technology that she's just gonna want to be on his side now. That would be unfortunate.
Let's see what I can do. Melanie left on a fool's errand.
Again?
She was a fool to leave. Yes, I am LJ, and I was hoping that you could forgive me too.
Okay, so Alex is trying to run interference. She's asked to be taken to Wilford. She basically told Ruth and Layton, oh, you know, I can get out of, because she was imprisoned in like the brig. And she was like, I can get myself out of here because he basically just wants me to go and say I'm sorry and I'm on his side and it's gonna be fine. And now she's lying to him that, you know, she believes that Melanie was stupid to go out there and she shouldn't have doubted him and all of that sort of thing. She sounds so insincere, and I wonder if he's going to believe her, and if he does believe her, I wonder if he actually has a blind spot for her because he trusts her with so much, even when she openly opposes him, or if he's going to pretend to believe her and then just try to find out what she's up to.
Control back here, okay?
All right, we'll prepare to brace. Affirmative. Prepare to brace. I'll get back to you on approach. You got it. I know we did.
This is pretty cool as well. So Javi just sent a coded message to Ben, and he knew that he had to kind of speak in code because Sykes is with Ben the entire time, so he can't really tell him any secrets, or he can't tell him that they're trying to steal the train. So he had to talk to him and just hope that Bennett would understand him. But they've been working together for so many years that by now they can sort of figure each other out. So hopefully that actually worked. I don't think Sykes knows enough or is smart enough. I don't know if she's smart enough, but I don't think she knows enough to really figure out what they were talking about, because he was basically talking about obstructions on the track, and he gave him some coordinates, and I think Bennett just figured out that that means, okay, we're trying to get Melanie.
You ready to dig in, Javi? I can hold it, you know.
You're a brave man, Mr. Tom.
Oh my goodness, I think they're trying to get them across the border in one of the carnival carts. It's like a little, almost like a, like a big chest on wheels with like carnival paint and drawings on them. I think they're inside that, and now they're trying to get them across the border secretly through the supporters that they have there. That's hilarious. If Wilford's ridiculous carnival comes back to bite him in the butt, that'd be amazing. Bucky's on our side now as well, and he's being pretty fun. And Ruth, I have to say, looks really cool in what I'm guessing is one of Wilford's shirts. Thankfully, nothing terrible happened when they took a bath, so they just took advantage of Wilford's horrible bath of deaths and suicide and mental manipulation. They used it for good, I guess. But she looks lovely in his shirt. She looks really good. I mean, it's slightly disgusting that it's his shirt, but at least, you know, he keeps himself together, so it's probably really clean.
Bro, how's the tail?
Still hanging on a delivery.
What do you want? Shit.
Till just knocked Audrey out. Audrey was in Zara's cabin? No, what is it? In Zara's, whatever, in Zara's quarters, talking to her about how she should, you know, do whatever Wilford wants her to do, because otherwise they can take her baby and they can take her out of the equation. And Theo just showed up at the door and just punched Audrey and knocked her out with one punch, and I enjoyed this a little too much. I never particularly liked Audrey, even from the beginning. I know some people really liked her in season 1 and the beginning of season 2. They thought she was like this strong female character. I always thought there was something a little bit off about her. So yeah, I think I prefer her as an evil woman, and they can just take her out.
Clayton's coming. I think we're using the entrance. What?
So Bennett is fighting Sykes and she is kicking his ass. I have to give it to the show. it does have a lot of strong female characters, even if they are on the wrong side. At least, you know, they're pretty much on par with the males. I haven't seen any like gendered roles. Basically, you've got some really strong females, you've got some really strong males. Oh my god! You guys are damaging equipment now! She just broke a screen with his head. She's literally just wiping the surfaces, or wall surfaces around her with him. I don't think this is a good idea. He's your engineer. You need him. I'm sure there was a better way to subdue him. I think he did it. I think at the last second he managed to press the correct button and they switched tracks. We'll see, I think that's what just happened. And now she's knocked him out. And who the heck does she expect to drive the train? Did she not have like orders from Wilford to keep an eye on him but not like knock him out completely because they need engineers? I mean, I'm sure Wilford can get in there and drive the train, but even so... Okay, so he managed to knock her out with, I think, with a laptop, and they've made the turn, and now they're going to try and get Melanie. But I think we know already that something is gonna go wrong, because we know that they didn't quite stop for her, so I'm guessing Wilford is gonna find out, and there's just gonna be battling on the train, and everything's just, shit's gonna hit the fan. Okay, this is really interesting. So, because this is a test track and it's quite bumpy, it doesn't go smoothly, they are just trying to kind of go very lightly so that Wilford won't notice that the track is bumpy and won't realize that they've changed their direction, they've made the switch.
Hello, engine. Wilford would like to check. A ruse.
Okay, so Alex is trying to kind of help them out by lying for them. She just called to the engine because Wilford noticed that, you know, his teacup was wobbling, so she called to the engine, and Bennett told her to kind of just stall and, you know, make sure he doesn't realize what's happening. But LJ was there and she saw her lie and she was like, I saw your mother do that, so she's calling her out on it, and I think this is the moment he's just realized what's going on. Oh, nice one. She just grabbed a razor blade. I don't know what a razor blade was doing. Oh, they were doing coke. They were doing coke, so there was a razor blade on the table. So she just grabbed it, put it in her mouth. Very old trick, oldest trick in the book. I first saw it in Prison Break when T-Bag did that. But now she has some, you know, some form of defense. I mean, Alex, by the way.
Enough! It's too soon! Here they come, Javi.
Okay, so they've got people trying to break into both engines right now. Wilford's trying to take back control. Poor Javi is terrified but being brave, listening to music while they're banging on his door. Alex is in big trouble. Shit's going down. They've just brought in Jupiter the dog. This is gonna be bad. I think, yeah, Wilford is in front of Javi's door with the dog. I think this will potentially end really badly for Javier. Which, again, how many engineers do you have? You can't just murder them all. Oh, shoot. Okay, they've just managed to open the door. They just saw Melanie. They know she's coming. Layton saw her. They slowed down, but Wilford soldiers just managed to open Javi's door, and they're coming in with the dog, and it's clear what they're gonna do. And this is why the train didn't stop. So they'll take control of Big Alice again, and they're gonna speed up so the train's gonna go past Melanie. And the question is just what's going to happen after that. Yep, this is exactly what I thought would happen. He set his dog on him. Ouch, this is a terrible way to die as well, and Alex has to watch this too. Okay, so they're actually approaching a cliff with like a very narrow ledge where the train tracks are going, and Bennett is obviously pushing on the brakes. Wilford is pushing forward with Big Alice, which is the strong engine, the stronger engine, as we know. So I'm wondering if they're gonna lose some cars that are just gonna fall down fall off the cliffside. Okay, so we're at that point where Melanie's episode ended. They just passed her. Bennett knew that they would fall off the cliff if he didn't stop pushing on the brakes. And she just saw Alex shouting for her from the back window of Big Alice. So now we're going to find out what happens next. We have just a little less than half of episode left. I was waiting for this. I knew this was gonna happen because we saw her kind of check the blade in her mouth. Okay, so Alex just tried to convince Wilford to turn the train around and go back for Melanie, and of course he went, "Oh, how dare you, this is all nonsense, she hasn't found anything useful, she can't accept the truth, I saved you all," you know, the big speech, and she just pulled out the razor blade and slashed at his throat. It's not gonna kill him, because it actually, killing people with slicing their throats is not as easy as some people think. She probably just sliced, like, she may have sliced an artery, but probably not his major one, so he's not gonna bleed to death. But she did injure him at least. Yeah, his doctors are stitching him up now. She didn't even get him like at the front of the throat, she got him kind of on the side, so she didn't really affect anything, but she did manage to run off.
J-links are fixed close, but we have one car with manual override.
Okay, so their plan is to actually disconnect part of Snowpiercer from like the full paired train that they have now and go back around, pick up Melanie, and then go and reconnect. So they're going to leave Big Alice pushing from behind and leave most of Snowpiercer, but they're just going to disconnect the engine of Snowpiercer and part of it so that they can go and pick up Melanie. So I'm expecting that to happen maybe next season. Is there enough time for all of this to happen until before the end of this episode? I don't know, but it sounds like a good plan. I mean, it sounds like bullshit science, but it also sounds like a good plan for this type of show.
Aquarium, a weak point, designed to be jettisoned even on lockdown.
Through the engine.
Okay, so now he's gonna use Josie. He's sending her up train to go to the engine where Ben is and basically breach it so that he can freeze to death, but she will hopefully survive. And the doctors are saying she's not ready for that, and he's like, I don't give a shit, you have to go and do it. And I don't think she's at the point where she would ever do something like this. I really don't think that. So I don't know what she's gonna do, because even though she's augmented, if she's out there too long, she will die. And he's basically saying, we're gonna lock the hatch here, you won't be able to come back through here. If you want to come back, you have to come back through the engine. So she won't have much of a choice, but we'll see what happens. Maybe she'll sacrifice herself, but that'd be weird because they just hyped up this whole cold woman thing.
Right away.
Thought I smelled compost.
Oh wow, it's gonna be Ruth versus Kevin again. And once again, I really don't think this is gonna end well for Kevin. That's a pity. Oh. Meanwhile, Bennett managed to contact Josie and he told her that they would need her help, so I'm guessing she will actually help them. We don't know how, I don't know what the plan is, but that's probably what she's doing right now. Okay, at least he's not dead yet. He just got a kick in the nuts and she shocked him with the taser and she got her teal blazer back. Why do these people... Hospitality is crazy, but awesome, but crazy. Why does she care about her bloody jacket? I guess it became part of her identity, but doesn't she associate it with Wilford and his entire system that she has now learned to not like anymore?
You're gonna behave yourself while we're gone. No vengeance, no reprisals. You keep your hands off these people.
Oh shit. I think Boki's gonna die. So Wilford knows what they're doing now. Ruth hasn't managed to make it back to the part of Snowpiercer that they're going to disconnect, so she might end up actually still stranded. Well, not stranded, but she might end up stuck with Wilford and the rest of the train. And I think that Wilford has now figured out that somebody's down there trying to manually disconnect, and I think he's going to try to kill Bulky. And he will probably succeed because, you know, that'll be a very devastating blow to our heroes because they need a breachman. They'll probably end up with Josie, actually. She'll probably make it all the way there, and they'll still have her as a breach woman. Okay, so this is what Josie's doing. She's breaching the car that they're in right now, the aquarium car. She's gonna breach that. It's probably gonna kill all the fish. These are the last fish on Earth. They're just gonna kill them all? Well, I suppose the people are more important, but wow. And then we have Layton holding holding Audrey hostage and threatening to kill her, and Wilford is like, yeah, go ahead and do it, but I know you're not gonna do it because you're not that kind of person. But then, I mean, is Audrey still gonna be on his side with him going, go ahead and kill her, I don't care? But then she always knew he was like this. Oh. The poor fish and the poor sea turtle and the poor... all of the creatures in the aquarium. This is really sad. Wow. Yeah. Ruth is left with Wilford, which from a storytelling point of view makes perfect sense because we're gonna need somebody from, you know, the main kind of cast apart from Wilford on Big Alice so that we can see what's happening on Big Alice and nobody else out of the important people is left there. So maybe the whole Ruth versus Kevin thing is gonna continue next season if he's still alive. We'll see. But she is stuck there, which is not good for her. Okay, so we've uncoupled the trains, you know, it all happened, and now Alex and Layton are out with a sledge and they're supposedly looking for Melanie. Why Alex? I know she's her daughter, but they're pulling this heavy sledge in the middle of this frozen world. Alex is badass, but she's tiny. It should have made more sense to have somebody a bit more, I mean, Till should have been there or somebody else, because how much weight can Alex pull? I mean, I know she's cool, but like she doesn't have superhuman strength. Okay, so they made it to the station and they haven't found Melanie. They found her data and she kept the drives warm with all the power that she could gather, so now they think she's dead after all this drama. Okay, maybe she is dead because she left this last diary entry about, you know, I'm out of resources, I ate all of my rats and all that sort of thing. Surely you didn't eat all the rats? How many rats did you eat, woman? Come on. Okay, and this is the end. And it's official. Melanie's dead, completely dead. She walked into the snow and she froze to death. I did not expect that. Out of all the characters to die, I didn't expect her. I'm okay with it. It makes sense. My only issue is that she was one of the more interesting characters and she was really fun to watch, and I really liked Jennifer Connelly in this role. So that's kind of a big loss for the show, just in terms of like characters and actress. But I feel like they still have enough people left to kind of pull it forward. And I mean, if nothing else, then this show definitely manages to surprise me a lot of the time. In season 2 especially, there have been so many surprises. So I'm definitely interested to see what season 3 is gonna be like. Kevin's still alive, so we'll see what happens with him. At least I can hang on to that if Melanie's dead. Still, very sad for her though, and for Alex. I like Alex, but I was more interested in her mother as a character. But, oh well, they have her climate model now. They've seen that there are warm spots, the earth is warming up, so now they're looking into the future and, you know, they're making plans to go and pick up the rest of the train. And that's gonna be season 3. I think probably season 3 is going to be the last one. I feel like that would be just enough time to wrap up the story, end with everybody finally getting off the train and setting up colonies and the world starting to warm up, and then you can have an epilogue, which I think is basically what happens in the graphic novels, or graphic whatever they are, comic books, I don't know. So I think one more season is probably what we should get. As much as I enjoyed this show, I wouldn't want it to overstay its welcome. But wow, oh my gosh, what a wild ride. I really liked this episode as well. I loved both of the last episodes of this season. So much happened and a lot of it was batshit insane, but you know, still really, really fun. I think I'm the kind of person who can enjoy batshit insane. It doesn't always have to make sense. So yeah, super happy I watched that. Thank you for watching it with me, and I may or may not see you when the next season premieres. Who knows, maybe I'll do some more reactions, commentary, whatever, on Snowpiercer or a rant. We'll see, depending on how it goes. Thank you very much for watching and see you whenever.